If you didn't watch my well, not my last video, but the one before that, I'm basically just doing a series of short tutorial-ish videos to showcase some of my latest props and projects, hopefully just in time for Halloween. Now, because these are finished projects, these aren't my typical step-by-step tutorials. I'll just be kind of showing you the parts and the processes that I use to create them. The advantage to this is that the videos will hopefully be shorter.
Typical master criminal loves the sound of his own voice.
Alright, touche. And will hopefully also allow you a little bit more flexibility and creativity if you decide to recreate any of these on your own. Today's prop is this light fixture, which I think really captures the whole mad scientist aesthetic of the classic Universal Frankenstein movies. Now I have to say, this looks like something that cost a pretty penny, but apart from the specialty light bulbs, it's made almost entirely from cheap materials and found objects. The frame is just made from wood from an old fence that I tore out of my backyard, which I sanded and stained with this dark cherry color. Now I acknowledge that many of you may not have wood just lying around, but I mean, you can always buy it, or if you're not above dumpster diving, if you cruise around behind big box stores and supermarkets after hours, you'll often find wooden pallets just lying around waiting to be thrown in the dumpster, and there you go, free lumber. These caps here on the ends are just plastic flower pots, which cost about $2 each. The little drip trays that would normally go underneath them are actually jammed inside to create a sort of shelf. These white tubes are just these Lysol wipe containers, emptied and with the labels removed. Now they're held together in the middle with a large hose clamp, which I did actually have to buy, and I think it cost me about $8, which I wasn't too happy with, but I really couldn't find another suitable, cheaper alternative. So this is where I'm counting on you to do me one better. And the caps, the hose clamps, and basically all the other hardware I use to hold this together is just painted with a coat of this hammered gray spray paint. The light bulbs are green LED flame light bulbs. I've started seeing things similar to this in Home Depot and Walmart, but only in the yellow color, like these here behind me. For the green ones, I had to go to eBay, where they cost me $11 each plus shipping. I think they're actually quite a bit cheaper now. Now at the time, that seemed pretty pricey for, light bulbs, but you gotta admit, these look pretty awesome in here, so I consider them well worth the price. Inside the light fixture, the light bulbs are screwed into these, which are just plug adapters for light bulbs, available at hardware stores for about $1 a piece. To wire them, I got two cheap extension cords like this, cut the socket end off, strip the cables down, and just solder the wires directly to the leads. Now you don't have to do all that, you could just, plug it directly into the extension cord, but I found it easier to get everything lined up the way I wanted without all of this extra bulk up here. Incidentally, it's the same method I used to wire these wall sconces behind me. I even used the same type of flower pot that I used for these caps, just cut in half. Then I ran the cord through holes that I drilled through the wooden frame and the flower pots and stapled it into place. This is just a plastic cord organizer that I painted with some more of that same hammered gray spray paint. If I weren't so lazy, I would have just spliced both of these cords into a single cord with one plug, but I didn't feel like taking that extra step since this is just going to be plugged into a power strip anyway, so I didn't feel the need to conserve outlet space. If you're going to make something like this yourself and have it plugged into some place where you only have one outlet available, then combining those cords is something you're going to want to consider. In the meantime, please don't laugh at my two-cord design. I know it makes the whole thing look a little more amateurish, but it suits my purposes. Well, that's about it for this project. This one was a little labor-intensive, what with the measuring, cutting, sanding, and staining the wood, but really nothing too difficult. I actually enjoyed making it, and I absolutely love the effect of the finished product, so hopefully you do too. If you do, hit that like button. If you decide to attempt and or improve upon this project, let me know about it in the comments. And if you want to see what else I've got going on, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. I got a lot of other stuff to show off, so we'll see you here next time.